We're recording.
Okay, 1699, Pierre Le comes up the Mississippi River looking for copper. And the reason he thought there was copper here is that Indians were seen with war paint that was green in color. Now, interesting, the Indians believe that blue and green are simply shades of the same color, so they don't call it, it's the same is true in Asia. So there's no distinguishing one from the other, they're just shades. But he saw this color and he assumed it had to be copper. So he came up as far as Mankato, went up what is now the Blue Earth River, and built a fort in 1699 and wintered there.
Where's the Blue Earth? Not the Minnesota River.
The Blue Earth enters the Minnesota right here at Sibley Park.
Oh, okay.
And the Le River used to enter here where Cub Food is today, right down by West High School.
Okay.
So I have this theory that was where the river came in before, when Le was here, and that river capture occurred afterwards. So he went up to Le and he built a fort called Fort Le Hillier, which is where Le Hillier gets its name.
Yep.
And he was there for a winter and a half, and they mined 7 tons of this green material, put it in boats, and sent it down the Mississippi River to New Orleans, where they assayed it and found it to be clay, no copper. And so they abandoned the fort. And in the meantime, the men who had stayed there over the winter got in trouble with the Indians. They killed 400 buffalo at one sitting and just took the tongues and left the rest of it rot. And of course, the Indians just couldn't believe these, and so there was a possible massacre that took place at the fort site, which has never been found, by the way. They've looked for it for many years. So that was the end of that story. Now, the Indians called the material Mankato, Mahkato. So when Mankato was founded, they named it after this Indian material, and when it went to the office to be registered, they took the H for an N, which is how it became Mankato. So Mankato meant blue earth. Man, M-A-N, is skunk. So we have an interesting name here. So we're
skunked out of blue earth.
Yeah. So actually, it's a misnomer. Now, people again looked for the site of this fort and the clay for years. Bill Lass and I actually found a site, and other than the old guy Hughes who did the Blue Earth County history, who knew where the site was for the clay, we're the only people that know. So I've got pails of it actually, and when I was a kid, I sculpted this Indian. I did this when I was in high school, out of the green clay.
Oh my gosh.
Bruce Dowell would love to have it. So it's dusty as hell. It's never been fired. It's just the clay with a varnish finish on it.
Look at that.
But you can see what the color of it was. So you get an idea why he would have thought this was copper.
Looks like a copper.
Because it's green. It's like verdigris. So if you'd want a chunk to take back to your vineyard, I can hunt you up a hunk of the clay if you're going to call it Blue Earth. This is the Blue Earth, the real stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. That's awesome.
And the Indians to this day use this in ceremonies. And so when Bruce was here, I took him out and we got 2 pails of it, and he sent it to the Dakota people out to the west here, and they still use it.
Nice. Oh,
It's considered a sacred material. Actually, what it is a glacial clay.
Yep.
And oddly enough, we had a mouse fired at the university. It's around here someplace. Did a spectrograph so we'd know it was in it. It's an iron compound. And when you fired it as a glaze, it turns coppery in color, which is just the oddest thing on the planet. Even though there's no copper in it, it has this reddish color to it because of the iron content.
Yeah. Awesome.
So that's the story.